Imagine a land with more than 25 centuries of history, a place where empires rose before Rome even existed, where poets shaped the language of love long before Shakespeare, and where a single conversation in a bazaar once helped bring down a king. What secrets lie hidden in Tehran's crowded streets, in the mountain passes of the Zagros, and in the quiet moments of everyday life? Why does this country keep returning to the center of world politics, no matter how often outsiders try to define it from the outside? This is Iran, a nation shaped by empire, revolution, faith, and resistance. Long before it was called Iran, the world knew this land as Persia. And Persia was not just another ancient kingdom. It was one of the first true global superpowers. Under rulers like Cyrus the Great, Persia controlled territory stretching from the Mediterranean all the way to Central Asia. It ruled not only through armies, but through administration, roads, standardized laws, and something rare for its time: tolerance. Conquered peoples were allowed to keep their religions, languages, and customs. In a world built on domination, Persia built stability. But Iran's story was never one of uninterrupted power. It was invaded by Greeks under Alexander, later absorbed into the Islamic world, challenged by Mongols, Turks, and competing empires. And yet, something remarkable kept happening. Iran survived every conquest, not by erasing change, but by absorbing it. Geography played a quiet but powerful role in this resilience. Iran is a land of mountains and deserts, not open plains. The Zagros Mountains in the west and the Alborz in the north shaped natural defenses, cultures, and identities. This geography helped create diversity. Persians, Kurds, Azeris, Arabs, Baluch, and others share the same state, but not always the same experiences. And that tension still matters today. Fast forward to the 20th century. Iran had a king, the Shah. He ruled from palaces, embraced Western modernization, and promised progress. There were highways, universities, and oil wealth, but there was also repression. Political parties were controlled, opposition voices were silenced, and a powerful secret police watched closely. By the late 1970s, frustration had reached a breaking point. Students protested, workers joined, religious leaders spoke out, and merchants in the bazaars quietly supported the movement. In 1979, the impossible happened. The Shah fled, and the Iranian Revolution transformed the country overnight. But this was not a typical revolution. It did not replace a monarchy with a liberal democracy. Instead, it created something new. Iran became an Islamic republic. Power shifted from a king to religious leadership. At the top stood the supreme leader, a figure with authority over the military, the courts, foreign policy, and the political system itself. Elections still existed. Parliament still existed. But all of it operated under religious oversight. Think of it less like a Western republic, and more like a system where faith and state are permanently fused. And before the new system could even stabilize, war arrived. In 1980, Iraq invaded Iran. What followed was 8 years of brutal conflict. Cities were bombed. Chemical weapons were used. Hundreds of thousands were killed. By the time the war ended, neither side had won, but Iran was permanently changed. The conflict hardened its politics, shaped its military doctrine, and deepened its distrust of the outside world. That distrust soon defined Iran's relationship with the United States. After the revolution, diplomatic ties collapsed, sanctions followed, and decades of hostility set in. With Israel, the conflict took a different form. Iran refused recognition and instead supported groups opposed to Israel's existence, not always directly, but through alliances and influence. This created what analysts call proxy conflicts, wars fought indirectly, across borders, without formal declarations. By the mid-2000s, those tensions exploded into open confrontation, reminding the world that Iran's conflicts are never just regional. They ripple outward. But Iran is not only geopolitics, it is daily life. Tehran is a city of cafes, traffic jams, startups, and smartphones. Young Iranians follow global culture, joke online, create art, and dream of opportunity. At the same time, life has become harder. Sanctions weakened the economy. Inflation rose. The currency lost value. Families adapt, businesses improvise, and frustration grows quietly until it doesn't. Protests have returned again and again. Students, workers, women, merchants. Sometimes sparked by prices, sometimes by political repression, sometimes by something deeply personal. The bazaar, once a symbol of commerce, has again become a symbol of dissent. Iran's economy tells a paradoxical story. The country holds some of the world's largest oil and gas reserves, yet ordinary people struggle. Sanctions restrict trade, isolation limits growth, and innovation survives despite constraints, not because of support. So why does Iran matter? Because it forces difficult questions. Can tradition and modern life coexist? Can faith and political power be separated once they merge? And how does a nation with such deep history navigate a rapidly changing world? To end, a few facts that rarely make headlines. Persian poetry still shapes global literature. Iranian filmmakers quietly win international awards. Isfahan's central square influenced urban design far beyond the Middle East. And despite decades of pressure, Iran remains what it has always been: resilient, complex, and impossible to reduce to a single story. Iran is not just a headline, it is a civilization still writing its next chapter.